Hey, think about buying a home in Santa Cruz? You know, I just closed an escrow with a buyer in 10 days. This guy found me on YouTube and he understood I had a process, a strategy to help him win. So we followed that process and within 10 days, he had keys. So let me explain to you how the process works. But first, let me tell you the story because it's kind of fun. I got to get you with this. We made an offer on a property that had 2 other offers on it. That one didn't work. And he wasn't really willing to come up, even with my ideas and saying, hey, this is how you can win. At the end of the day, it just didn't work for him. It just wasn't the property for him, or else I think he would have come up in price. But we were following this strategy, but he didn't want it. So there's something to know there. Maybe if you are being pushed back on price, maybe it's just not something that you want. But anyway, I digress. So when he found a place that he wanted to write the offer for lower. And I told him, look, I am okay with writing a low offer and presenting it. I don't mind getting yelled at by the agent if they don't like it because it's too low or, the seller's unhappy. But I want you to be prepared that you may not get the property. So he said, okay, I'm fine. Let's make a low offer. Well, you know what we did? And we got it $60,000 less. Wow, right? But there was a catch. He had to close in 10 days because the seller was doing a 1031, which I will not get into here. But he got it. We closed yesterday. And he followed the steps I'm going to outline for you right now. Hi, I'm Michelle with Compass. I've been in real estate about 20 years here in Santa Cruz. And I've learned a lot. But what I've also learned is the market changes all the time. And to get the best agent for you, you need one that's able to pivot when the market changes, because it does, and it changes all the time. Number one in the buying process for Santa Cruz is you have to get a pre-qualification letter or a pre-approval. Or if it's cash, you have to have proof of funds, which you have to have proof of funds anyway if you're getting a loan, because you have to prove that you have the extra outside of the loan to close the sale. Basically, number one step is, how are you going to prove that you can pay for the house? Number two, define the criteria and the neighborhood and the home that you're looking for. Is it single level only? Is it by the ocean or a little further from the ocean? Do you like it warmer, cooler? What do you like? Do you have kids in school? Are you going to school? Do you work over the hill in Santa Clara? Do you want to be close to good commute routes? You need to know all of those. Pick 3 areas. And if possible, the neighborhoods in them. So not just Santa Cruz and not just Live Oak, because those are very big areas, but areas within them. So for the west side of Santa Cruz, we'll use an example. It would be the upper west side, the lower west side, Seabright. For Live Oak, it would be Pleasure Point. It would be maybe near the school. You know what I mean? So number 2 is making sure you understand the area and the neighborhood that you want to be in. Number 3 is, this is the fun part, go to open houses. Start looking. So there's 2 things you need to know about open houses. First, try not to be too critical of the property. Please try to assess the property if it's going to work for you. Is it in the right area? Is it in the right neighborhood? Does it have the right temperature for you? I find some neighborhoods are very cold and some are very warm. Does it have the accessibility for some of the services that you're looking for? I work with clients of all ages and in life cycles different, right? So I work with people who want to be closer to medical services. I also work with people that want to be closer to UCSE because they either work or go to school there. Those are all the things that you have to weigh in. So do all of that as you're wandering through the open house. Then maybe start looking around for maybe possible problems with the property. Oh, I hate to say that because so many of the Santa Cruz properties have a lot of issues with them. Unfortunately, we just are a naturally ravished area where we have a lot of water. We have the ocean air. And so you'll find a lot of properties that unfortunately need work. Especially homes that have been a second home, they don't always get the care that they need. So does it have all of that? And then within that tip, I will tell you, please do not pre-negotiate with the listing agent. And how you do that is after you've identified yourself, you start beating up the agent about that property. Don't do that. That can bias you later. It's what I call pre-negotiation, and I'm telling you not to do it. But my number one thing I want you to take away is going to be after the 5th step. So stay with me. So now you found the house that you want. Make a strong offer. I'm going to have a video that's going to be right after this about how to win in multiple offer situations and understand the actual process once you get to the table when you're competing against other buyers. Here's the other thing you need to know about making a strong offer. Do not use Zillow or Redfin for the price that you're going to offer. Use them for guidance, but here's something you need to understand about Zillow and Redfin is every time that you are clicking on them, you are actually changing the algorithm of what buyers see in terms of interest. So if you're clicking on there, you are actually telling those programs that there's a lot of interest there. I did this once. One time I clicked on a property so many times, I actually increased the value. I understood it once I did it. I didn't mean to. And it was my own listing. Then I found out the seller was going in and they were looking at it and they were clicking on it too. So we were artificially changing the value of it by showing extra interest. That's not the really reason I want you to not follow Zillow and Redfin. I really want you to be careful with them because they can tell you the wrong price. And if you're in a multiple offer situation, you're probably gonna lose. Okay, number 5, here comes the fun part. You close escrow and you get keys. There's a lot of other steps in the middle of there, but we're not gonna get into them in this video. I'm going to just talk about the actual once you get to the offer table at the next video, and then I'm going to step it all the way throughout this series. So you will hear the full process. I'm going to give you my number 1 strategy that's a little hint to the bidding more video. It's what does the seller want? If you are really interested in a property and maybe there isn't other offers and you are the only one, it is still good to know what the seller is looking for. They may need a couple weeks after close to move out. They may need you to say, I am okay with the repairs needed on this house and I am not going to ask you to repair anything. But those are basic tips to get you started. I know home buying can seem very stressful. I really try to make it very smooth for buyers and they are happy. They are happy because they know a process and I outline it all along the way. Make sure you book a strategy call with me. I have a Calendly link below and you can get on a call with me and we can talk about how you'll be successful. And then don't miss my next video because every time you go to make an offer, there will be another buyer there. That's why understanding how to win in a multiple offer situation is so important. Bye, and I will see you soon. Thanks.